One of the most serious questions facing the panel is the identification of the Pristine bullet with the fragment taken from Governor Connolly, the wrist area. Now, I realize the importance of your conclusion that the fragments removed during the surgery from Governor Connolly's wrist were from the Pristine bullet, and I realize the difficulty of saying, you know, you're absolutely certain to the exclusion of all other possibilities. But I'm wondering if you could tell us, if you could go any further than you have in terms of certainty of the comparison of those two tests.
I don't think that I can in the sense of putting a % probability or something like that. All I can say is that those two specimens, 399 and 842, agree so closely in their antimony concentrations and their silver concentrations that I could not distinguish one from the other.
So it is
whereas I can clearly distinguish those two from the other three. They are different. They're still Mannlicher Carcanos, but they represent a different Mannlicher Carcano bullet. And
so it is your testimony that it is very unlikely that these were fragments from two different bullets.
It would be extremely unlikely. You can imagine that certainly there are some Mannlicher Carcanos that are the same, that one bullet could be one and one bullet could just happen to be the same composition, and it could be the one that fractured the wrist, for example, but it's very, very unlikely.
But the scientific term that you use is extremely unlikely, is that correct?
Extremely unlikely or very improbable, however you prefer.
To your knowledge, has any other scientist to date linked the so-called Pristine bullet to the injuries?
Not that I'm aware of, no.